flex.
That is so funny.
It was amusing.
Terrible movie.
Yeah, I plan on watching it, but Sylvia rolls her eyes every time I even mention
What?
it.
Oh,
I'm just hoping it is.
It's
Okay.
awful. It's just also fun. It's funny. But it's so incredibly dumb.
Skio's already overthinking this.
Hold on a second. Alright.
I was about to throw my pole arm at him, but then he put his fingers in his eyes.
Don't put out
You're gonna
Skio's
stab me
eyes.
like that?
I was going to cheap shot him.
I mean, Wu does it, why not?
I did. I went through the whole arm of Conrad. Kiss already. Oh, that was beautiful.
Think of that. Was that on?
I don't know. What did they look like to you?
Both of you kind of paused like it looked like you got hit, but it's hard to tell from this side angle.
Yeah, because both of it is on the outside. I don't think either one of them are good.
Nobody's head snapped back.
Yeah, Lars's head.
You guys just both stopped like you thought you hit each other.
I felt the touch with the very barest, and I don't know where. So,
Yeah.
So the weird thing when you get to those is that it's supposed to be a directed touch in. So if it's sliding across, it really depends if it caught the tip and then slid or if it was sliding the whole way.
it was probably good then.
Yeah, those are the times you get into tricky.
Skio looked like it more like it was out here, but it slid right up his cheek.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Slides are hard.
Yeah, they are.
That was me just being slow.
What's the setup to follow it? I would have moved on there.
Oh, so you knew.
So
you knew I
when I
couldn't
fought
really get
pole arm a bunch,
I
that
would've
kind
like
of
this.
situation happened to me a lot,
Once it
where
was
like
here,
I would
I had
get
a
somebody to the
split
side,
second of panic, but you
and
didn't do
so
anything
I
to
worked
capitalize on it.
really hard
So I knew,
on
at that
like,
point I knew I was safe.
seeing that moment and diving after it,
But I think if you
and I
would've done it
got a lot of kills
ahead
off
of
it,
time,
but I don't see
like
other
doing
pole
it,
armors
seeing what
do
happened,
that.
and then
They don't have the
reacting is
confidence to
slow.
dive.
You know what I'm saying?
The difference is even though you don't know the weapon particularly well, you know the logic behind why you should go after the person.
If somebody's
Nobody
the
saw it.
second they have one hand on the weapon, just
if you
fuck
saw me-
everything.
Right, but most people aren't confident. Like, his footwork was wrong, so he couldn't follow up. He threw it off, sure, but he couldn't chase it because he had to shuffle. The other difference is that he's nose over toes, basically. His weight's super forward, so he can't dive backwards without like an aggressive back movement. Lars is centered.
Your face was good.
Lars is centered and slightly squatted. He's tall,
a little
and
bit,
his
but
nose
not-
is way too
Not
forward.
excessive, but a little
So
bit
he's
hard.
nose over. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
forward.
nose over toes.
All right.
Instead of being more centered, he's aggressively leaning forward.
Because I put my head over my front foot, but all that weight is on the front half of that foot, so I can push back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Versus,
That's better. It's not
Yeah, no, he doesn't. His weight, his head forward, but it almost looks like he has his weight on his back foot.
he's pushing off the inside of the foot, but if he's smart, he has a weight on the inside of both. Like, it'd be like this where it's on the inside versus this which is that side.
Right.
Where, you know, if you're in that front stance, if your weight's all here, you're rooted, but you can push back, but you can't come forward, right? Because your weight's too forward, so you have to push to your back foot to get forward. Because there's nothing there.
So my way to do that would be to, all my weight is on the front of his foot, Tom. While pushing forward, I pick it up, and if my foot wants to shoot forward,
Sure. And your weight will lean you forward, but you still have to overcome your weight to just do this. Whereas if you're more balanced, you can push either direction. I don't know that it would necessarily be a lot faster. It's probably more of a agility thing than it's a speed thing.
Your hands are tired?
You know, the ability to move in many ways instead of being predetermined on going forward.
whatever you're doing is probably better, because when I fence a lot, I do really well, and then my knees start to get sore, and I bet it's because that's not healthy.
Probably not. There's a reason martial artists are they're generally pretty well balanced most of the time. Hazel,
I did.
come on. Right down the middle. Good job, dog. Okay.
She don't care.
I didn't have anything.
No, she doesn't know I'm gonna hit her.
Gotcha. You weren't able to bottom out on my hip or yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Skio is really in love with those little shots. Bait them into one and then do a hard parry and know you're going.
Okay. I was thinking the same thing, like, should I say it or shouldn't I say it? Because Lars has a plan and he's executing it. I just wasn't sure Skio is 100% aware of what he's doing, of what he's presenting.
Well, he'll see it on film.
Yeah.
I kind of like that low shot because it's almost free lunch. Lars isn't really able to.
The problem with throwing those down there is if the other person knows you're going to do it or you can't do it, a possibility. Yeah. Because if they're waiting to throw a shot too and you have roughly equal everything else, you throw that low shot, you can't block high, and then you just get stabbed in the belly. But it does depend if you're on your heels.
No, it slid.
The
wrong angle.
hand grips didn't adjust there.
I went straight down instead of.
Lars was in a good spot, but his hands are out here instead of here.
Yeah,
Follow through.
Huh?
Well, you followed through. You flicked it at him. If you had followed through, even though you glanced, you would have killed him with something.
You think so?
Yeah, and that.
Yeah, turn your hip like Tom said.
Oh yeah, turn the hip would be the right idea.
I think part of this, those are real hard to do though, because part of me not blocking is me seeing you not turn your hip, right? Like.
Yeah, but then it's a glance and you walk through it.
Yeah.
There's still a flick thing to it. You're doing this instead of that.
Yeah.
Like the part that was bad on his part is his hands were too wide to throw a good return shot. So he had him out like this. So it became this, which is awkward, versus this, which is fast and easy.
Yep.
So he couldn't throw the angle he needed to get you before you got away. On your side, you threw so straight that it just basically like boop and fell off of it.
Yeah.
Like it felt like nothing. It made noise, but it didn't look like it moved him. Yeah. Whereas if you just twisted a bit or even rolled your wrist around a touch, you would have pulled it into his head more, would have caught. Yeah. Soaking up too many shots though. Yeah. It looked like it did, but
It felt like you got there, but it wasn't for sure.
That was perfect.
Yeah, right.
I'm working on something.
That was good.
Well done.
yeah. Hand grip's getting better, but it was still fine. His bread and butter is that shot. That shot, he targets from like below the boobs, basically to above the hips. So that's like 90% of his thrust. So you just shut that down to the center. And there's always a slap. Like that's where Wu is getting a lot of her slaps. Her natural height makes her natural block right in his sweet spot. So get a lot of the blocks. But
my cage is so short.
Yep.
I don't know where to do.
You touched it, but I didn't feel like you
Went too low too quick.
Do you disagree?
But that he parried it and then he came in under control, but he still had the initiative there.
Yeah. Lars, reaching. Hey Lars, don't rely so much on the long range reach. Like take control of the fight and take him. Like occasionally you're coming in, but you're never getting closer than about mid range. But a lot of your long range stuff is kind of more like pawing. It'd be like if you were pawing at someone with a sword at long range.
Right.
It's not deadly enough. Like you're getting some kills, but it's not deadly enough to really make him change. He's just gonna fight through it. And his main strength is long range.
Well, that's why I'm doing it.
Oh, you're intentionally fighting him there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to work on the thrust. Okay.
All right, that's cool. That's fine.
Face feels very open to me.
It is.
I know I just have to do very little to actually get it.
But the problem there, Skio, is like 90% of what you throw is from here to here. Like your natural inclination to throw in this box.
Yep.
So you have to actually almost intentionally move other ways to get to a face, which takes away some of the surprise. So if you threw more at the face as a regular thing and you adjusted your guard so it wasn't so clear you're going for that box, it would make it harder for him and it would make it easier for you.
Okay.
You're making it harder on yourself by your stance. Even though you have plenty of skill to be able to throw that shot, you're still making it harder than you need to.
Okay.
Bad.
Oh.
Bad. That's a great way to break your hand.
Two bad things there. I just totally went there and dropped it, and you tried to block with your hand.
The exciting day for the little guy. They went to the pet store to get some fish.
Uh-huh.
We've had a fish tank for a week, and we've been getting it all prepped up. And
cool. Where'd you get them? What type of fish?
We don't know yet. I don't know.
Oh,
They went, well, like when I left here, they went to the fish store. So
That's cool. Sylvia is a huge fish fanatic, so if you need help or something goes somewhat sideways, she might be able to tell you what's going on.
yeah,
We used to have giant fish tanks, and we just haven't since we moved out here.
he's been excited about the fish tank, like in general. He'll like run in and he'll like,
Yep.
he'll like, oh, fish.
Setting was
There are no
terrible
fish.
idea.
We just looks at the tank.
What's that?
Yeah.
Oh, I sort of moved
Yeah, that's
more,
okay.
but no, you
I
were
mean,
following
that's what
that.
they're there for, mostly. With a little bit of effort. You get like a placostomus that'll help with the algae setup, and they're kind of cool to watch anyway. But
That's what I have been trying to get.
Okay.
your weight forward heavily, you're gonna see that on the tape, but like Lars is this, you're this.
Okay.
So your weight's here, your nose over toes. So you have to do something to push yourself away. So, but this isn't moving, right? So if he's not throwing at your face, this is not going very far before he gets to the point where you can get away. So it gives him more time to throw at your body. You can move your face around from here and do stuff, which you're used to people trying to do. But like what he was doing there was right into your body. So you got one step back, boom, and then he caught you and kicked you. Because you can't move as fast from where you're standing.
Okay.
He's centered. He can go left, right, forward, backward, whatever, but none of it's going to be super bursty because he's not putting a lot of effort into one direction necessarily. But he's so good that with that he can move anywhere he wants and you can't read it easily anyway.
Okay.
So I like what you're doing better than what he's doing. That's what I'm saying.
I like what I'm doing better too, even though I'm getting my ass kicked.
He's a better thruster than you are.
That's why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I also need to learn how to block thrusts better.
Yeah. Where's your point of block? Here, hold on. What are you thinking of what you want to do when you're trying to block? Like, so, go to your guard real quick, Skio. You can stay there.
So, alright.
So are you doing this? What are you doing? Up there?
No, lower.
You like
Lower
down
it in
in
the center.
like that.
Yeah, so that I can pick either swing to shoot down.
Right, so that's the problem. Because you can do the way you want to go one word, right? Because it minimizes your
And
front
then
thrust. If I'm here
and then
and he throws anything forward, right?
That's the deal.
Like cons.
I put
Right,
you
and then you can
and you
pull
jump
back.
back. And then
If he
you
tries
put
to
me
go
and
under
jump
it,
back, or I put you and you block and you parry and shoot it.
And then you
and
come
I
right
jump
through,
back.
right? And you can control it the whole
But
way.
that's
This
kind of it.
because
And
this
so
is
what
dark,
Lars is doing
to
to him
here, and then
is
it goes
Lars is poking,
Right.
Skio jumps
right?
back,
And you have
and
multiple
Lars
targets. The
does
elbow
a
comes
double
up,
hop
head's
forward,
open.
and
If you
hooks
fake
it
this
in
way,
again,
come
and
back.
at that
There's a lot of
point,
choices there,
Skio's just
which
making
makes
shit
all
up
that
and
harder for
getting
him.
Yeah.
But when if you're
And-
center line
Because that
here,
last stab that Lars
right?
caught
This,
him right here,
if he goes left or
that
right,
shouldn't
I have
worked
to
because
judge
of the way that
which way I
Lars
want to
did
go,
it. He did
right?
pass forward, it wasn't
Versus
that
one
way.
off.
Sure, but
See, I'm going
Skio
off
was
the point of your shoulder
off
and
the
across
beat
the spine.
position, yeah.
This also
but
covers
they were
your
kind
face
of
a bit.
close together.
This doesn't make
and
your
he's
face
kind of
an
just
easy
standing
target.
there like
What I like
that.
to do is
Yeah.
that. Now, if you do it and you're way
Lars
over
is a lot
here,
better
like
at
way at range, this is a
getting
little
somebody else to
trickier,
do
but it's farther, so
even
you have more
if it's not
time.
good at the style.
So
Right?
I talked to Tom
Versus
about
if
it,
I'm
and he said
straight and
one
he
of-
throws it my face,
typical
you know, from out
thing
here,
with
I have to
pole
catch that and it's a
they're
lot
not
closer.
I
That's
wonder
what I
if
get.
that's what
diligently
makes me want to hit you in the face.
That's what he's one of the ones he caught me on. I blocked, but I
Block length.
blocked like yeah, I
It's
did
because
that,
you're
but I was
running
too slow because I was
Yep, use the angle
so
to your
much
advantage.
that it's hard to
So,
get in the
so I'd go
mindset
more
of,
across, probably
like, hey,
slightly up,
thrust
depending on where he's at.
and
Because you can
lost
slap it down
your
on one
hand
side,
off the
push it
weapon.
up on the other.
And now
You
I'm
can
gonna
step
just
through
run
and it goes
like
wide.
a madman.
There's a lot of options on where you can go with that.
it
that
doesn't
should happen
really
every
screw
time.
you.
Every
That's
time
the other
somebody
thing. Like, there's
uses
not
their
really
hand
anything
on
you
a weapon,
can't
the other person
Because
should
if I want to
be
push on his, like, if I
screaming
want
at
to throw it in his face, right?
Well, I mean, I killed
So do
Skio
this, and then
a minute ago that way. 'Cause he got
if
his
you
arm,
overblock,
and if I
you
had
just sneak
stopped
underneath and
thinking
you get it.
about I'd killed
If he
him
doesn't
faster.
block enough, you come this time.
And he just
I don't
was like,
have
what
those
are you doing? Oh, and I'm dead. So.
Well, you
Right.
said you're working on
But yeah,
this.
it's a,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
good point.
no, so I agree.
So I'm
That's
showing
why
you what they are.
No, you're correct. I'm just.
Yeah, I get you don't have to.
Skio, there's
When
so
you
many
say,
of those
basically,
long
you're just saying do a
thrusts where
disengage
you let
and
one
thrust.
hand
I
go
can't
to
like
get a
it.
Okay,
little
well,
bit.
I
let
need
me
to practice.
right, rephrase it. That's what you could do to
Because
do that. That's not what you should do right now.
And that's what I
Charge
should do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have that skill currently. The goal was to show you what you could do. Not to say do this, you don't. So.
No, I mean, I should though. Like, I should be working on relevant skills. Right now, I'm neutral because I'm relying on my positioning to outrun away fast. And that's a failing situation because I'm hoping for it.
Yep.
Right? And 3 of those kills, I touched him, but he did stuff to get out of it that I'm not able
Well,
to
when
do.
we first walked out, he's like,
And I'm just
so
walking into
you
his
know,
thrusts, right? So.
Yes.
You look much more
Yep.
intent.
The
with
things
this
you
fight
have to
than
read on
you
his
fight
part,
with sword.
you can see that his back leg is angled and his weight's on his
Yeah,
toe.
'cause I'm
And his
very
face is way up
careful.
top. So he can move his head around. Nothing is stopping his head from moving around. And that's why that target can be tricky. But if you do something to distract him out of his thought of his defense, like if he's here like this and you do come like that, see how he tightens up?
If he's got sword
That
to
takes away some of his ability. Because his stance changed slightly, and his weight kind of went that way a bit.
That's
And
what I usually
this.
use
I'll tell you
to
that
close with him.
tiger,
And I was trying not to do it too much because I'm trying not to close. I'm trying to be more subtle, but I should do it.
Because
But
do it
mix
like
it.
that.
Like sometimes you do is the thrust, sometimes you do is the close, and then he never knows you're coming or
You
not.
just hold them, and
The
now
other
one
thing you
of us
can do,
comes
like he
running
throws his
in.
legs a bit.
And
The
I'll
problem
tell
I have
you,
with
if I
legs
see
is if you're
somebody
up here
doing
like
that
this,
to you
and we're
and I
playing like
run
this,
in,
and he
I'm
goes
just
for a
gonna
leg.
freight train.
That's what happened
Yeah,
on the last.
yeah,
Well,
they're
kind of
gonna
what
go for a
happened on the last
ride.
one. On the last one, I
that's how I
cheated
was
my
trying
hand
to get,
forward.
like,
So when he
Marguerite,
did
and
the
then
leg,
the
I just
thing
pushed
is,
here
the night during
and then
the practice, I was like,
thrusted him.
And
I'm
there is
not
a little bit
gonna
of
try to
hesitation. Like
kill
there's a
her.
hitch I might get you up on that
My
too,
goal
because I'm
is to
debating
be
whether I
busy
want to
while
block
they
it or I
club
want to
you
try to
and
kill
make
it.
skill and
Right.
Like if I'm not sure I can get the
Right.
kill, I'll go for the block first because position over submission,
I
right?
just told Drew,
So if
I'm
the
there
in that case it's like okay he's off and I know I'm not in
make
armor
him pay
with the
attention.
instinct.
You two are
Right?
going
So
to
he's
win.
going, do I block or don't I?
Yeah.
But the but you know I know I'm in range
Yeah, and that's
before
a
we even
little
start,
bit of knowing
right?
your pieces.
And even if he
is
was
to know that you
here,
counting
like I
on
can't
that
hit him
kind of
easily from here.
aggression from
If
them
he comes
is
forward to throw any
dubious.
shot at all, right?
At
It's
that
just
point,
this,
you're
and then I
trying
can
to
come
weigh the
here,
scales of how
and
much,
then it's just a
how
matter of what
little
do I do
can
next.
bring out here.
Like if he
and
goes for a
Conrad
thrust,
wants
I
to
can
just
push
run
that
away from
across
it.
and step
Like
through.
if you send
and then
Marguerite
boom,
out there,
bang.
I should run
Or
away
if
from
he
it.
just lets
Yeah,
it sit
'cause
there,
she can't,
it's
she's
just
so
this.
tiny, she
Right.
Not this.
Right. I mean, to be
This.
honest, then you're looking at
Because this
looking at
sticks.
traits.
This
Yeah.
goes
Like,
through his arm.
okay, you take two brand new fighters,
And that's
they're,
true on a lot of these, right?
younger,
Like
crazy
sometimes when you're
people,
throwing them out here like this,
fine.
there's this one,
But
right?
you bring
You don't throw it straight, 'cause then
Marguerite
it gets knocked away.
and,
Yep. And the same one if you go underneath
who
over
else
here.
would
Like
have
this
a
one's a
couple?
lower
And
percentage. You
even,
play around here a
Cameron.
bit. You push him
He's
around a
real
bit.
short, too.
You get him
Yep,
here,
he's
and
short.
then you do this.
He's not
Right.
skinny. He's
And
not a,
part of the
he's
reason
not a
to go
runner.
here is because
They're
this
gonna have
is
trouble
reasonably
running
safe,
after him.
and I've got a big profile here, but my next
Now they
step
are
is
lefties,
this.
which is
Right.
a little concerning.
So if he
for me.
throws
I
down
gotta pay a
quick and
little
I
more
miss, I can
attention to
slap
the
it.
lefty.
And I can also try to recover out of it if he doesn't throw a shot.
So,
But I'm moving away, even though I'm
on the other hand, when I get
But these give you
new-ish lefties running at me,
So,
I can generally
the thing is
leg
here,
them and leave
go
them
up
in
on
a
your
pile
thing,
very quickly.
I just want to show you. If I throw like this and you push, it doesn't do much, right?
Yep.
That's subtle, but a huge difference. That's one thing you can try to do.
I was kind of surprised. I thought I would.
Yes. He's fighting lefty though.
Yeah, but it works both ways. Doesn't matter left or right on that one.
Tell him, you know, only dive on Conrad. He's fast. I'm not going to run away from him.
Yeah.
I have to. I have to fight him for real. He could leg me when I kill him. I didn't bring my long sword, so the fight, I can't guarantee it's going to be a perfect fight. And if he's trying to stay alive, it gets to be real in there. I don't want to chase him. That gets dubious still. Then I end up like when he runs away.
I think that was a good strategy.
Terrible.
Are you sure?
Well,
I don't know. I would say yes. If it was on the lighter end.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're supposed to. Let's just be fighting. Yeah.
especially Leica, like she's gonna, she just genuinely enjoys fighting.
I was thrilled to death after fighting her last week because I showed her a whole bunch of stuff like a month or so ago, and she did it, and then she did more new stuff, and then she went away for a while, and I was thinking, I fought her, and I'm
film on that back shot.
For him? Or you?
For him.
He panicked.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
Because it landed with some force, but it didn't feel like it went like a blade on into my body. It felt glancy.
It had no intention.
Yeah, it was just a panic.
He knew he was gonna die.
Okay.
Yeah, throw something.
I just want to make sure I'm not blowing it off.
You're not
Oh, no, it didn't look
hard
great.
enough, but it didn't seem like the right angle.
It wasn't, because you got him running backwards where he was kind of jumbled. And when you got into that last thruster, he just kind of slapped something. But, you know, a shot's better than no shot. You miss 100% of the things you don't throw.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was having problems getting my hands back on my weapon.
And she'd come up
So I
with a
finally
couple
did, so I just
moves all
threw what I
on
had.
her.
Yeah, that's right.
She was trying this move. She wanted to take her the butt of her sword and grab the edge of my shield and pull me open and then hit me. And
That's what I learned when I was fighting soldiers.
yeah, so
Don't do that.
it's terrible. And I could.
In a kingdom where lots of most people have sort of overlap
Yeah.
videos, it works pretty well. Here where most people have stuff throughout people.
So also it probably works better when you're
Yeah.